What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on Chris's MMA Universe. For this video here, I want to kind of do a tribute to GSP, Georges St. Pierre, which is one of the greatest fighters to ever enter the octagon. This fighter here, I mean, he was just fantastic. I know a lot of his wins came by decision, but he was just completely dominant in those fights. He has 2 losses on his record right now. And those 2 losses came by Matt Hughes and Matt Serra. Now, he got finished in both of those fights, but he avenged those losses years ago and finished them in both of those fights. I mean, GSP has nothing to prove anybody right now. He left as a winner, just like as he was fighting as a great champion. I mean, he left as a champion, and you know, there's really nothing that you can say. I mean, this guy left on his own terms while he was still on top. How many fighters can actually say that? Not many. So, and especially one of, of his star power. I mean, he's just something special. You know, he was always something special to watch. Anytime, even if people didn't like him, which very few, you always had to tune in just to see him fight. I mean, even if you wanted to see him lose, let's say, but me personally, I always wanted to see him win. I love GSP. I love the fact that he left on top. It's just that, just that one fight that kind of is like a little kink in the armor, so to speak, is the fight that he had against Johnny Hendricks. That fight is a fight that I believe, and many other people believe, I mean about 80%, or if not more than that, believe that he had lost that fight. I mean, even Dana White spoke about that fight on the post-fight press conference right after the fight, saying, does anybody else think that GSP did not lose that fight? I mean, he said he scored it, I believe, I mean, don't quote me on this, but I believe Dana White said he scored it 4-1, Johnny Hendricks. And I believe Johnny Hendricks won that fight. I mean, his GSP's face was completely busted up. I mean, Johnny Hendricks just had the better of GSP for at least 4 of those rounds. And Johnny Hendricks didn't even look like he was in a fight at the end of that fight. I mean, it was just in disbelief. Johnny Hendricks' entire team was in total shock and disbelief. I know this video is not about that fight, but I do have to mention that fight. I think it's very important for those of you that just do not know what happened that night. And I just believe that I just had to just quickly mention it. But GSP, without a doubt, was one of the greatest. He left on top regardless of everything. He has won 2 titles in 2 different weight classes. He was the welterweight champion for years. I mean, he ended up even beating Michael Bisping at middleweight to win and become the middleweight champion of the UFC. And he said the only way he would come back is for a legacy fight. I know he had retired, but he also said himself, never say never, and he believes that if he ends up getting a call from Dana White saying that he can fight Khabib to win a 3rd title, then he would definitely do so. And there's been rumors about that fight. There's been talks about it. Khabib says he wants that fight. GSP says he wants that fight. I do not know if that fight will be at 155. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know if GSP will even be able to make that weight. He's a special athlete, just a pure athlete, pure competitor. So I do believe that he would try to make that weight for sure, but I don't know if GSP can make that weight. But, GSP, like I said, he's just at the top of the mountain right now. It's his choice to do whatever he wants. He left on top. He can come back and just get big legacy fights, and that would earn him a ton of money as well. And honestly, for him leaving on top, he only deserves, big money fights and legacy fights if he does decide to come back. It's on his terms. You know, I'm pretty sure they can negotiate pretty much anything with him, and you know, actually make that Khabib fight happen. I do believe if that fight does happen, GSP will definitely beat Khabib. I do not see Khabib beating GSP. GSP's way too big, way too long. You know, he's just going to be way too strong for that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Khabib is incredibly strong, but he has not fought anybody like GSP that fights at these higher weight classes and just defeats people. I mean, GSP came back to beat Michael Bisping and just beat him, I mean, indecisively. I mean, he actually finished Michael Bisping with a bulldog choke that looked almost like a rear naked choke, but it was just, I mean, he caught him with that left hook, dropped him, grabbed a hold of his neck, and just choked him out. It was something just incredible. I mean, GSP just seemed to be better at that weight class. Like, he was just stronger. He was big. I mean, he even seemed bigger than Michael Bisping. People thought Michael Bisping was going to be bigger than him. I don't know. GSP seemed a lot bigger than Michael Bisping, in my opinion. And, you know, GSP, like I said, he's at the top of the mountain. He can come back and do whatever he wants. But even if he does leave, and let's say he leaves for good, I really do believe that he was something always special to watch. And if he does come back, I know I'll definitely tune in for it, and I know the whole world will as well. But, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments on how you feel about GSP and whether or not he should come back. I know if he does come back and beat Khabib, and let's say he does do it at 155, and he does gain that title, that closes the book as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. To win 3 titles in 3 weight classes closes the book on pound-for-pound #1, for sure. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.